So tell me, what are the main factors you look for in an everyday EDC? Are you looking for a big monster blade? Are you looking for a super comfortable grip? Is steel a major concern for you? Do you want something that's going to be a hard hitter? Are you looking for great deployment? Are you looking for a great rear flipper, a front flipper, a backlock? Are aesthetics important to you? Do you want something that looks good, or do you just want something that works? So many different options, so many different opinions. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Joe from JS Bladecraft coming at you here. Thank you so much appreciated for you joining me on another video. So today we're going to be talking about a very difficult question. Now, there's been something going around the knife community that Scab started. He actually texted me this question, and recently he actually just posted it on one of his videos, asking everybody a question about, in terms of your purchasing decisions, what are the main features that you look for in an everyday EDC or an everyday carry? I think that's kind of a difficult question, and unfortunately, I'm not really going to give you too much of a straight answer because there's just so many different angles that you can go in, and I think 3 points are a little hard to kind of narrow down to, but I will definitely try my best. I will definitely answer Scab's question, and like I said, he did post it to the community because we are looking to do a blade talk with Scab and Joe, and it's also going to be featuring Neve's Knives. Jared's going to be joining us, and we're going to be making up a show on this. So there was a reason why Scab actually asked these questions to so many people in the community to try and get some feedback, kind of build something up to make it up into a blade talk. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be happening tomorrow night, depending on when you're watching this. It's going to be on Tuesday, April 25th. At around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be Blade Talk, where we're going to be kind of taking up this topic as far as what are the main features that you look for in your purchasing decision on an EDC. It's not going to be an easy answer. I'm sorry I'm not going to give you an easy answer if I give you a freaking answer at the end of this thing at all, because I just find this to be a very perplexing question. It could have many different angles, many different situations, but I'm going to try to narrow it down. I'm going to try my best. So the first thing that I am going to be deciding on in terms of a purchasing decision for me on a knife, or something that I would prefer, even if it's not a purchasing decision, something that I would look at and prefer in a knife right off the bat, is going to be aesthetics. Now, a lot of people probably don't agree with me that aesthetics are a big thing. It's got to work, it's got to fit in your hand. There's a lot of things that go along to it, and a lot of people don't think aesthetics is that important, but I think they're lying. I think you got to kind of like the look of the knife before you even give it a chance. That goes to like content creators that get, I've been getting a lot of knives from companies as gifts, as loaners. A multitude of knives on my channel that I've been reviewing have been coming from companies, and I've been getting my hands on a lot of different types of knives that maybe I probably wouldn't have looked at because of the aesthetic. But aesthetics is, for me, I'm going to basically put it out there, and I'm going to admit that aesthetics and the look of I have to like the look of the knife before I can ever give it a chance. Now, that being said, there's really not that many knives out there that I really look at and say, you know what, that's atrocious. I would never even pick that up. I do like the look of a lot of knives out there. Spear points, drop points, clip points, harpoon blades. It doesn't matter. I like the look of a lot of knives. So there's not very few knives that I've seen that I say, oh, that's atrocious. I would never touch it. So that being said, I have an open mind in terms of what I think is a pretty looking knife, or whatever the case is. I could look at basically this buck knife here, and I love the look of this orange cameo. I will look at a lot of Rosecraft blades, and I will love the look of a lot of these Rosecraft blade knives, because if you guys know my channel, I am a sucker for red and black. So you put red and black on a knife, 90% of the time, I'm going to like it regardless of anything. If it's got a pretty good shape and it's red and black, you know, it's got my heart already. So that's my thing. The next thing, main factor, it's got to have a comfortable, a very comfortable, sure grip. Now, what I mean by a comfortable, sure grip, because there's a lot of different grips out there. You may have a shorter grip, a very full-handed grip, or you may have something that basically is a 3-finger grip with a good finger choil that gives you a sure grip. So I find comfortable and sure grip come hand in hand depending on the knife that you have. So by showing you some knives, now we have cold steel. The cold steel knives are probably some of the most comfortable knives I've ever held. These kind of really fit your hand extremely well. Very sure grip that you have on this. No problem working with it, cutting with it, holding it in your hand, no hot spots. It just hugs your hand. I love knives like this. Then you have the Rapid Fire Coyote. Okay, again, very, very thick spine, a very robust type of handle. And it just really fits your hand really well, a very, very sure grip. That's what I would personally look for in my ideal EDC, a very sure, comfortable grip. You know, fits my hand, fits, you know, my hand can kind of just hug it really tightly, and I know that I'm confident holding the knife. Now, a lot of people would say steel would be one of their biggest concerns in terms of a knife. Now, I'll put it out there. Steel is not my biggest concern. It really isn't, because there's a lot of good steels out there that do a really good job. And a lot of the higher price super steels are pretty much out of the budget that I kind of put out for myself in what I would spend on an EDC. Would I appreciate those knives and want them? Absolutely. I mean, I would take, you know, one of every Medford out there, one of every Hinderer knife out there. So but that's besides the point. I am looking for more the reputation of the company for treating the steel that they're using very, very well to excellent. So I'm looking for a reputable company that handles that steel well. So now you have Off-Grid. Off-Grid uses a lot of D2 steel. I love D2 steel. As long as it's treated well, it's easy to sharpen. It's got pretty good edge retention. I am not worried about sharpening knives. I sharpen my own knives. So if I have D2 steel that has pretty good edge retention, that's fine for me because I sharpen my knives. There's people out there that they don't sharpen, or they got to go to sharpening services because they don't sharpen their knives. So they feel like they need to get the S45, S35, the S390s. They need to get those super steels that'll retain the edge a little bit longer. I personally sharpen my knives, so as long as it doesn't chip, it handles itself well, it's got a good edge retention, steel is not my biggest concern. What I like in a blade, though, in terms of one of my main focal points, is a wide belly blade. I love a thick spine and a very wide belly blade coupled with a very comfortable knife, and that's why I do love these cold steel knives. The same reason why I love the Rapid Fire Coyote from Off-Grid. Comfortable handle, really nice, a wider type of blade, and I like the knife. Something that I am leaving out is the engagement, or the ease of use of the knife, okay? Now, this Rapid Fire is one of my favorite knives. Now, anything I'm showing you here, guys, this is not like my favorite knives or my best 10 or anything like that. I'm just trying to have all these knives on the table here just to give you an example of what I'm trying to convey to you, if it's ever going to work by the end of this video. I love this knife. I love a lot of features of this knife, okay? Now, it's a spring assisted, so now it's not the easiest of closing because it's actually not even, it's probably not even that safe because you got to kind of deal with it a little bit because it's spring assisted. As far as the deployment, ultra fast. Since it's spring assisted, you got to kind of take that extra step to kind of pull it down, and your hand could slip and you could cut yourself. So that's probably a downfall for me on this knife. Other than that, I love the knife to death. It handles well. It's a great cutter, very tough, and it's Off-Grid, overbuilt well. You know, then you have cold steel. Again, it can be a one-hand operation. It's obviously a rear lock. It can be a one-hand operation. If you kind of just basically angle it right, you can kind of close it with one hand. It's possible, you know. And then you have your zippy guys. Okay, again, handsome knife from Rosecraft Blades. This is actually, I didn't review this yet. This is the Castoria. I'm going to review it pretty soon. Very zippy, and it's got a button close. I mean, perfect one-hand operation. So is that important to me? I appreciate it, but it's not a make or break for me. If the quality of the knife is good, this is the SE Avispa, okay? It's not the best basically deployment. It's not the best in terms of the return, okay? It's a little stiff, but it's a great knife. Great, big, beautiful handle, frame lock, very capable, good steel, very good heat treatment. So you kind of just take the shortcomings of the knife if you can. So it doesn't really make or break a decision for me if it doesn't have the best deployment or the best detent. Those are not my major concerns. And I'm going through all the points here, but it's just hard to kind of narrow it down, Scab, to like 3 things. This is why this is a very difficult thing for me to answer, because you have different situations where you would decide what are your biggest points in deciding on which knife you would want to carry or purchase for yourself. In terms of going to work, if you're going to a wedding or you're going to church or whatever it is, you have a suit, you have nice clothing on, it's kind of hard to carry the 4MAX in your pocket. I mean, as much as I would love to carry this every day, it is kind of hard to carry. It's heavy. I love the knife to death, but it's kind of cumbersome to kind of carry in your suit. So now comes the slip joint blades that I have never been into slip joints before, but now I've been finding slip joints and been coming into my pocket, especially because I've been getting them as samples and I'm trying them for the first time. I realize how useful and easy slip joints are to carry and use, and have something sharp, something that kind of slips into your pocket, and you have something capable for you to use. It's solid, it's sharp, and it does the job, and it goes away, and it kind of disappears into your pockets. Slip joints are probably what I would choose as an EDC in terms of like a dress up type of carry. So that goes against now what I was saying before. Yeah, the aesthetics are nice on this. Is it a comfortable, sure grip? Kind of. I mean, with the finger choil, it makes it a comfortable, sure grip. So this kind of crosses the T's for me here. But it is a smaller type of knife as opposed to holding a 4MAX, where my biggest preference is a really sure, comfortable grip. But this works for me as a work knife, And then there's basically, if you go out camping, you're in the woods, do you want to carry a slip joint to basically take care of all your tasks? It could do it to a certain point, but no, you want to get a 4MAX. You want to have something in your pocket that you can kind of baton with. You can beat the shit out of it. You can cut wood. You can baton with it, and you can basically have a fighting chance, over an attacking bear if you want to with this 4MAX. Of course, I would rather have my big buoys, but this will give you a fighting chance. It's no joke. So that's what I would want in my pocket if I was going camping. So it's the reason why it's such a difficult question for me to answer is because I imagine myself in different scenarios, and then my requirements as far as what I would want in an EDC, my main factors kind of bounce around and change a little bit depending on the situation that I'm in. So it is just a very interesting question, and I'm really dying to see what everybody has to say about it, because I have a feeling it's going to be different for everyone. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's got to be the steel, or it's got to be comfortable, or it's got to have good deployment. There's going to be a couple of the obvious questions, but if you really think about it, guys, putting yourself in different situations gives you a different type of knife that you would need. So that's why you have many different styles knives. So you have your slip joints, you have your big monster beasts, you have your quick deployment ones, okay, where basically you have one hand operation, you want something quick that's going to do the job and go away. This is a great, pocket knife that you carry on a day-to-day basis where you want one hand operation, you want to kind of do your job. That didn't work. There it goes. You want to do your job, put it in your pocket, and it's good. Looks nice, fits in the pocket well. It does everything well. That's a good all-around type of knife. Okay. What I would say would be, if I was able to carry, and I live in New York State, and a lot of people have the same problem. If I had a choice of a type of knife that I would want to carry every day, that basically gives me all the main features that I spoke about, it would be a pocket fixed blade. I would take a Nomad EDC or a Mount Laguna from Work Tough Gear over any of these folders. Slip this in your pocket, put it on your belt. If I was able to carry it, take it out, use it for everything you need to use it for. Solid as hell, better than any folder out there for what it's intended to do, and it'll do everything for you. Okay, you could go from camping to it to everyday carry to everything in between. if I was able to carry it, a good pocket fixed blade would definitely be my choice as far as what I would personally want to carry every day, because these really kind of just, crosses all the T's and dots all the I's for me in many different ways other than a suit carry. So again, aesthetics, comfortable short grip, and a wide bellied blade, regardless of the steel that it is, as long as it's a viable steel and it's not crap. So I'll give you a prime example. You have the 420 HC, I think it is. I forget what it's called. The 420 Boss treated blade. This is not the best stainless steel in the world, but you know what? The heat treatment on the Boss heat treatment that Boss gives you is among the best in the world. So this is a great blade, and it's not a very expensive, very high quality steel, but the way they treat it and the way they manufacture this particular blade makes it for really good steel, and it's not very expensive steel. It's not by any means a super steel, but it's treated very, very well, and that's what makes these Bucks blades so desirable out there, for their price, for what they come in, and what type of steel they give you. Now, if we got to talk about swords, that's something different. Steel is a little bit more important there, which is another video altogether. But in terms of everyday carries, steel is not the biggest concern with me. Whatever steel, I don't give a shit what steel Work Tough Gear uses. Their heat treatment and their their manufacture of their steel is so freaking good that I don't care. I don't even look to see what steel they use. I just know that their blades are super tough, super edge retention, super good edge retention, and they don't chip, they last, and they work. That's what's my concern, is the reputation of the company. So did I give you an answer, guys? I don't know if I did. I don't know if I made you more confused as far as what I like, but I think it really comes down to the situation and I'm in, what I need the knife for to give me, and it would kind of change in terms of what I would like in a knife, but aesthetics would always make it to the top. I really have to like the look of the knife. But we'll dig into this a little bit further in Blade Talk. I have a lot more to say about it, and I'm looking forward to the roundtable discussion with Scab and Jared about this. That's happening tomorrow night, again, Tuesday the 25th at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Also it's going to be on Scab's channel, Choir Boys Outdoors. It's going to be on his channel. We're doing Blade Talk. So hopefully you guys could join us. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope to hear what your comments are as far as what you look for in a knife. If you agree or disagree with me or whatever the case is, I would love to hear from you. And please join us on Blade Talk, so this way we can all talk about it together, have a good time, and show our love for knives together. And I think this is a very intriguing, interesting thing for us to talk about. As you can see, guys, I'm wearing my 22 a day Till Valhalla bracelet. Major support for our vets, appreciation for our vets and our active military, and awareness for veteran suicide. Vets, we love you, we appreciate you, and you always have a place here. So much love and respect to each and every one of you, and hopefully I'll see you, each and every one of you, on Blade Talk on Scab's channel, Choir Boys Outdoors. Peace out, everybody. Ciao.